So going into this game, United were up against a Southampton side who, like Burnley on Tuesday, were defending in a 4-4-2 shape. However, unlike Burnley, Southampton pressed high up the pitch in a very Rangnick Red Bull-esque style. Southampton used an incredibly narrow shape which can resemble a 4-2-2 shape when the ball is further up the pitch, and they are very good positionally. Here we see Broja and Shea Adams in a front two, and when the ball goes over to Varane, you can see Broja positions himself so that he's able to cut off the pass into McTominay, and this forces Varane out to Dalot, and this pass acts as a trigger for Elyounoussi to push up the pitch immediately, cutting off the pass down the line and subsequently forcing Manchester United backwards. United have been using a 2-4-3-1 shape in possession for quite some time now, not just under Rangnick but also under Solskjaer before that. However, in recent games since Pogba has come back into the side, we have seen Rangnick use more of a 4-3-3 system which becomes a 2-3-2-3 in possession, and in this game this was evident, with McTominay being the single pivot, dropping deep in the build-up phase, and then in the middle third we would see Pogba and Fernandes pushing up between the lines of the Southampton system. I do think that this system works a lot better for United as it gives the backline more forward passing options, allowing United to progress the ball up the pitch a lot quicker, and this was seen with Ronaldo's chance within the first 10 minutes. Also, if you do like the look of these phone cases, I'll leave the link in the description below. Anything you buy will help support the channel. My personal favourite is the Ronaldo Sue celebration one, even though I do also like the Fergie one as well. But be sure to go over to the site linked in the description. They've got a lot of other designs as well, and if you use code AF at checkout, you should get 25% off as well. So United have played the ball across the back line, and Shaw has the ball now, and credit to him, he looks for and then plays that forward pass into Paul Pogba, and this is where the quality of Pogba transforms United's attack. As if this had been Fred or Matic or even someone better than those two, like Van der Beek, then we probably would have seen them likely take a touch and play it backwards or sideways to retain possession. However, Pogba is able to play a first time pass on the swivel, releasing Sancho, and it's in this type of position where Sancho is at his best. At Borussia Dortmund, the majority of Sancho's best assists came from these types of positions where the attack was transitioned quickly, and he was racing forward with the ball at his feet onto the opposition's back line, and his weight of pass and timing in these situations is usually spot on, and it was in this case, allowing Ronaldo to go round the keeper, and he just didn't get enough on the shot. But it was a great example of how Rangnick wants United to move the ball forward vertically and quickly, and United do look exceptional when they are able to do this. However, the problem is that they don't do this consistently. During the second half, these swift attacks stopped, and what we did see more often was Fernandes dropping deep to get on the ball and looking to play long passes in behind the Southampton back line that, when they do come off, look phenomenal, as they did on a few occasions, with Fernandes able to release Rashford down the right side for Sancho's goal. But when they don't come off, which they didn't most of the time in the second half, it simply just concedes possession. An example is here, Fernandes is going to look to switch play over to the right side, but he should just be looking to play this pass into McTominay here. But I think Fernandes recognises that McTominay has about as much creativity as a 60-year-old accountant, and to be fair to him, he wouldn't be wrong. See here, McTominay receives the ball in front of Southampton's back line from Dalot and is able to turn out. Now a top level deeper line playmaker like Rodri, Ruben Neves or Maxime Cucurella would instantly be looking to play this incisive pass into Ronaldo, breaking the lines of Southampton's system and getting United in behind Southampton's midfield. However, instead McTominay looks to take the safe option, opting to shift the ball out wide to Shaw, which is fine, it retains the ball, forces Southampton to shift over to the left side, but at some point in the game McTominay needs to be playing these vertically incisive passes, which in turn will allow United to break down deep defensive blocks more often. Check the video in the description where I do talk about the creative midfielder that United should be looking to sign for more information on Ruben Neves and Cucurella if you want to see my opinion on which one United should sign. Alternatively, Southampton did have this kind of player in Oriol Romeu, who was able to receive the ball and then find these types of passes into the two wide midfielders Elyounoussi and Armstrong when they would move in field in between the lines. Now, despite my criticism of McTominay, I don't think he's United's biggest problem, and you don't have to be a 200 IQ genius to work out who I'm going to slate later on in the video. And this is because McTominay is a decent presser. He's able to push up from the midfield line, put in a tackle and win the ball back. He's also good at driving into space from the midfield when he has the ball at his feet, but it's like saying a car isn't bad because the brakes and the steering wheel work, even if it doesn't come out of first gear and doesn't go above 30. McTominay is a good backup option in my opinion, but shouldn't be United's starting defensive midfielder. But United's midfield problems aren't just limited to when they have the ball. See here that Southampton have the ball with Romeu in front of United's midfield line, and Pogba does well initially to cut off the passing lane into Elyounoussi, who's moved infield from the left side. However, McTominay should be sensing the danger in behind him. He's instead preoccupied by Ward-Prowse, however the bigger threat is in behind him with Elyounoussi. This means that when the ball gets shifted out to the left side, McTominay is too far away from Elyounoussi to shuffle across, and this allows Southampton to work the ball into this position, where Varane is forced to commit and leave Adams in behind him. Now it does seem like I'm being picky, but it's to highlight how United potentially, maybe not definitely, but potentially stop this goal further up the pitch if they have a better defensive midfielder, rather than solely relying on the back line to clean things up. However, it has to be said, Maguire and particularly Luke Shaw at the back post don't recognise the situation. They should be higher up, and that would play Adams offside. Shaw keeps him onside, and it's a fantastic curling finish from Adams to make it 1-1. Now, despite the poor result yet again, United did look very good in certain aspects of the game. Diogo Dalot is proving that on-the-ball ability is equally as important as defending for a fullback. With Wan-Bissaka, United's attack down the right side seems to break down before it even breaks down, just with him getting on the ball. And in the final third, he crosses like he's wearing steel-toe boots, but Dalot is much better, not just in the final third, but also when progressing the ball in the middle third as well. He was able to play long passes over the top of the Southampton backline to release Rashford or switch the ball to the other flank. Pogba was excellent in the first half, even if he did trail off with the rest of the team in the second. Sancho looks much better in a quicker transitioning attack, and I think Ronaldo will get back to his goal scoring ways, as a lot of his drought is coming from not being fed in quickly enough, with an example being when Sancho was breaking down the left side with the ball and uncharacteristically delayed the pass too long and was forced to go alone. Using a 4-3-3 rather than a 4-2-3-1 allows the two wide attackers for United to be positioned high and wide, and this did allow United to play those direct balls in behind. The issue was that this was all United were doing. They aren't looking for these short incisive passes in between the lines enough, and this is why they tail off in the second half. The Southampton backline knew that United were going to continually look for that ball over the top, so dropped deeper in the second half, which nullified United's ability to do this. Rashford showed his quality for the assist for Sancho's goal, with his movement being well timed and his pass being perfectly weighted. However, when he doesn't have the space to run into, we saw the problems come in his game. Here is a great example. Pogba does Pogba things by turning quickly and driving the ball with his left foot out to Rashford on the left side. Here he is in prime position to drive down the outside of Walker-Peters and drive it across the box. Instead, he hesitates as though he wants Kyle Walker-Peters to get back across and close up the space, a clear sign of a player lacking confidence. Then he tries to move inside on his right foot, but it's all far too predictable. And eventually he gets closed out before he even gets a shooting opportunity. Another example of Rashford not being decisive enough with his decision making was when the ball got switched out to him on the left side, and as he approaches Walker-Peters you can see that Shaw is coming forward on the underlap. Rashford should either wait for Luke Shaw to make the run or look to take on Walker-Peters. He tries the latter, but is completely uncoordinated with his dribble and he's dispossessed easily. Now these types of mistakes aren't the be all and end all, as we did see Sancho, Ronaldo and Fernandes make errors in this game as well. However, the difference between those three and Rashford is that even if one fails, another attempt will come off, as seen with Sancho's pass for Ronaldo, or some of Bruno Fernandes' long passes in this game specifically. However, Rashford isn't producing these moments regularly enough to override his errors. He did get the assist, but in general over the course of this season, his output has been subpar. I think Rashford is much better on the right side, being able to drive forward directly and not having to cut back inside, where his lack of vision, decision making and passing ability is exposed. Sancho is much better from the left side, as unlike Rashford he has the vision and weight of pass to allow United to create chances. United need to stop playing Rashford simply because of his name. I'd rather see Elanga or even Lingard in that position for now. It's a weird one with Rashford because he's obviously one of United's biggest social media stars, with him being probably the most well-known English player from United by the English media because of his charity and political work, which is obviously great, but that doesn't matter on the football pitch. I'm not going to play a front two of Mother Teresa and Gandhi, as social media virtue points don't matter if you aren't putting the ball in the back of the net. If Martial had been English and Rashford had been French, the likelihood would be that Martial would still be at the club and Rashford would be out on loan. Now before I criticise Prime Baresi, if you are interested in who I think United should be looking to replace some of these players with, I have a whole 6-episode series which I will be leaving linked in the description below, where I give several options for United to sign at centre back, right back, central midfield and in the winger position. I've also got videos out on the man who Rangnick says inspired his gegenpressing style, one of the most successful managers in history that most people don't know about. And I've also got a video looking at where some out of contract players should go in the summer. All of those videos will be linked in the description or in the eye above. Subscribe to the channel as well if you like the content. So Harry Maguire's first half was decent, he didn't make any massive errors, but second half he was shambolic. Here we see Elyounoussi driving forward with the ball, and Maguire is in a pretty good position to deal with Broja. However, as the ball gets played, it's like Maguire is running with ankle weights on. Broja breezes past him without even breaking stride, and this should have been a goal but for Broja's poor finish or cross, whatever it was, but it didn't stop there. Maguire also got out-muscled in the right-sided channel before failing to move his feet quickly enough to readjust, and then he proceeded to nearly give away a penalty with his clumsy defending in the box. Maguire should be the centre-back that United get rid of in the summer, but his English nationality and £80 million transfer tag are what is keeping him not just at the club but also in the starting 11. And even though I do think Rangnick's system is improving, and I wouldn't even put him at fault for United not winning the last 2 games, as the XG shows, with United having a massive XG of nearly 3 in this game, but Rangnick has to be criticised for continually selecting Maguire and Rashford, despite them not even looking like top half players, let alone top 4 players. So thank you for watching. If you enjoyed the video, subscribe to the channel and click the bell for notifications. Check out some of my other videos linked in the description below, and check out the phone cases as well to help support the channel.